Hello everyone, Turner Burner here with another video for you guys. There is something I've been thinking about that I want to share, and I kind of want to get your feedback on it. If I don't get feedback on it, it kind of defeats the purpose of this whole video, but we'll just see how it all goes. Something I've been thinking about because of discussion on the forums and things of that nature, and also talking to other people is a couple things that would make Gear 6 better instead of how Gears 5 started, back in 2019. So I'm not going to talk about every single thing that's on my mind because typically, if you overload a company with 10 different things, they'll barely do one of them. So it's better off you just manage your expectations and say one. And if they do that one, then maybe you give them another one. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this video. So if you guys end up thinking this is a good video that I should send to the coalition or at least share with them, I'll do that. So anyway, let's get right into it. So one of the problems with Gears 5 is the XP and reward system. It doesn't make a lot of sense to put it bluntly. There's a general understanding that if you complete things on the highest difficulty, possibly even get a certain amount of kills, you get better XP. But I actually think for Gear 6, it should be much more simpler than that. So, as an example, here's my proposal. I don't want to go into too severe details, so I'll keep it very, very simple. So, I believe, whether it's beginner, master, whatever, but for the sake of this proposal, I believe, just for argument's sake, just an arbitrary number. Let's say each master win has the exact same amount of XP, right? So we'll call it 30,000, right? So it's easier, a number easy to track. So let's just say for Master Escape, every time you did it, your team collectively got 30,000. Let's say, each of you got 10,000 if it's three of you, right? So intuitively, if there's only two of you, you get 15,000 each, and if it's a solo run, you get 30,000 for one person. I think this could be this proposal that I have could be a very good idea for the elite players. People that can do solos, people that want to be pushed to doing solos, because a lot of people, honestly, if you don't have a channel or if you don't record and send me a video to upload on my channel, there's really no incentive to do a solo run. I mean, there really isn't, because it's not like I get extra XP. So I could be spending a lot of time on solo runs just because I like them. So like even for custom escape hives, I do custom escape hives, because it's a challenge and there's really nothing else to do on this game. But I'm getting off on a tangent. So that's basically the gist of my proposal, to where you would, each mode would have a XP total you would get, and there wouldn't be a whole lot of surprises relative to beginner, boss rush, whatever. And, that will be divided amongst relative to how many teammates you have. You have less teammates, you get a bigger pot, or you get a bigger piece of the pot. So obviously there's some obvious flaws just by talking about it, that, maybe someone may kick people at the end of a match so they can get all the XP, but the coalition has to do stuff to, veer against those obvious things that could happen in the future. But ultimately, it would incentivize people to be better at the game, because they would know that you would get bigger XP, out of solo runs versus if you had teammates. Obviously, maybe if you're not good enough, you'd still benefit from, a two-person run, which is still more XP than a three-person run in my proposal. But ultimately, I think this will allow there to be more solo runs, more good players, and more good players for me to watch, honestly. Because I don't think any of us solo people are all that special. I just think we care to do it. And if there was a lot more people that care to do it, It'd be cool for the community as well, because you would actually be surprised how many people probably could solo a map. So, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So, oh, and another thing I want to touch on for the second part of this video is the fact that certain modes should definitely get more XP than other modes. There is literally no reason Horde Frenzy and 1 through 50 should be more incentivized compared to everything else. Those modes are, I don't even, actually it's my channel, I'll just be honest. Those modes are a joke. They just are. They're not remotely difficult. They don't require any level of skill, but it for some reason they get the biggest benefit. They're the most popular. But if I were to do a boss rush, Escape from Kadar, Horde Roulette, I don't get the XP benefit than if I were to do like a Horde Frenzy or 1 through 50. Now, granted, I only play 1 through 50s if it's a mid map because they're more challenging. But it's just like literally Horde Frenzy and 1 through 50 is irrefutably the easiest thing you can do in this game. Maybe Jingle Juvies is probably easier, but besides Jingle Juvies, 1 through 50 and Horde Frenzy are a joke. But for some reason, the Coalition has it designed to where they get the biggest benefit. And that is insane. There needs to be a shift, or I would like there to be a shift into rewarding good players for being good. Because someone like me, I get bored if someone wants to invite me to a regular Horde match or a regular Horde Frenzy match. I get bored extremely easily. That's why it's very easy for me to get gravitated to a solo shortly after doing a boring match just to compensate. So ultimately, I think, Boss Rush, obviously, not even close, should get way more XP than everything else. Than if it were up to me anyway. So then it'd probably be Horde Roulette, then Escape from Kadar, and then I don't care what you do with the other ones as long as it's nowhere near as close as far as XP benefit for the difficult modes. It's as simple as people should be rewarded for being better than other people. It's just like how the real world works. It's it shouldn't be like the only thing that the only thing that has benefit to Gears gamers is the one that everyone can do. It's just not. It's just not reality. So. And I'm going on a little bit of a tangent and maybe off-putting, but that's the reality. That's what I would like to happen, to where it's just like, if you want to play Horde, Frenzy, or 1 through 50, that's fine, but the reward shouldn't even be remotely close to something like a Master Boss Rush, because it's not. It's, in comparison, they're not even on the same playing field. So, anyway, if the Gears 6 creators, whoever they are, I don't know if it's Coalition still or people in the future, if they steer towards making the game challenging and rewarding people who are good enough to, if only 10 people can do something, that's just what it is. It shouldn't be nerfed to the lowest common denominator. But that's probably a side tangent for another video. But ultimately, that's how I feel. And that's how I always felt for a while. The harder you do something or whatever you participate in, it should be rewarded. Certain maps should get even different XP. Like, as an example, and this is actually going longer than anticipated because I keep thinking of stuff, but like a map like The Split should get way more XP than a map like The Descent. But that's probably not the case because the Descent has 3 acts. So ultimately, what should happen and what would be appropriate to prevent, well, for selfish reasons, to prevent my, very, because I don't have a lot of patience and it doesn't take me it doesn't take a lot for me to get bored. So to prevent my own boredom and obviously the boredom of other players at that level, and you don't even have to be at a level to where you solo every escape hide to be bored with this game, because it's just not that difficult. Master, as an example, was the highest difficulty that was released when the game was started. There should be like 3 higher difficulties after that. Anyway, I guess the consensus of what has become now a rant is hopefully for Gear 6, they can do things that make things more enjoyable for good players or player. And if they did that, that in turn, it's actually going to push people to raise their skill level. One comment I saw in the forums is that a lot of people are at the level they are because they don't have a reason to be any better. So if people had a reason to do a solo run or solo horde or boss rush, if they had a measurable reason to be pushed to do something like that, they'll do it. Or at least that's what this guy's theory was in the forums. I don't necessarily know if that's specifically the case. I know a lot of people in the community like to ask for nerfs so they can get their achievements. That's what happened with the gauntlet. But it's a interesting theory, at least. The theory would be give people a reason to be good and they will be good. So you didn't do that with Gears 5 Coalition, so maybe you can do that with Gears 6 just to see what happens. So, and no more nerfs unless it's the elite drones. So, but all right, I'm gonna end it here because I'm gonna make this a video an hour, and this solo is only like 15 minutes. So that's pretty much it, guys. As usual, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You guys have a good one. Peace.